and Association.
I
Thank you so much.
now I invite Dr. Bujibabu.
Rajesh, Dr. Rajesh, a small announcement, please.
Sir.
Attention all the delegates and all the speakers. There is a general body meeting of the AP Neuroscience Association at 6 p.m. Actually, now we are running short of time. So the radiology session will start now and it will continue. I request all the postgrads to stay with the quiz and all the life members who are requested to attend the general with a separate, that is exclusively for the life members with voting rights. The general body will start at 6 o'clock. Till then, you can continue the radiology session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Bujibabu sir to chair the session and invite the speaker, Dr. Sachinand sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. Am I audible?
Audible. Welcome, Dr. Bujibabu.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay Shankar. So, good evening, all of you. And I thank the organizing committee of AP Neurocon 2020 for giving me this opportunity. And now the session is Silver Jubilee Neuroradiology Quiz, and the speaker is Dr. Satyanarayana Mandalapu. I take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Satyanarayana Mandalapu. He is a consultant neuro and interventional radiologist working as assistant professor in the Department of Radiology, NRA Medical College, Chinakakani, Guntur district. He is an alumnus of Andhra Medical College, Visakhapatnam, studied MD Radiology at NRA Medical College, Chinakakani, Guntur, and DM Neuroimaging and Interventional Neuroradiology at Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram. He has published articles in American Journal of Neuroradiology and Journal of Neuroradiology, and is a co-investigator in the evaluation of chemoembolization therapy of hepatocellular carcinoma in Emerald 1 study. Now, I request Dr. Satyanarayana Mandalapu to take over and continue with the quiz. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all. So the neuroradiology quiz, the first question. So each question. So each question 1.5 minutes. Each correct answer carries 2 marks, and incomplete correct answer carries one mark, and no negative marks. So you have to answer the questions and not cases, and some cases contain multiple questions, and findings should not be written when the diagnosis is asked. So this is the first question. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. You are seen and
Audible.
all the
Okay, sir.
slides
Okay.
are also seen. Yeah,
Okay,
go
sir.
ahead. No problem.
Okay, sir. This is a 52-year-old female presented with thunderclap headache, which was associated with nausea, vomiting, and palpitations. So her BP at the time in emergency is 180 by 100. These are the plain CT imaging, which shows a bleed, and then this is the FLAIR image, which showed SPH and the SAH, and then intracerebral bleed, and venogram is normal, and followed by DSA was done, and then DSA. These are the DSA images. So many arrows are marked, you can see, and then after, so she was treated, managed with the medication only. Then after 8-week follow-up, again MRI was repeated and MR angiogram was done. So you can see the findings from below, from the previous DSA This is the previous DSA and this is the present DSA. And now what is the diagnosis? And here on flare you can see the gliosis. So this question I want to make everybody to be the question to be very easy. So I only told all the findings and all. So what is the diagnosis? So the time is finished. So I'll go to next question. This is a question 2, and this is a 38-year-old male with seizures. Patient had a ictus 1 day back. So these are the flare image. The first one is the flare image. This is T2. This is also sorry. This is T1. This is T2 in the sagittal section, and this is diffusion weighted. And what is this entity called? So we'll go to next question. This is it. This is a 13-year-old male with slowly progressive scoliosis followed by pain over 3 years, weakness and urinary retention since 1 month. So the first image is the T2 image, second is the T1 image, third is gradient image, and last 3 images are the post-contrast T1 images. So what is the diagnosis? So time up, next question. Uh, this is a 54-year-old female. This angiogram was detected. So this is the left ICA run, internal carotid artery run, and there is an one artery which is coming from the petrous cavernous segment, and this is the vertebrobasilar artery. So what is this artery that is marked in red? See which territory it is. Okay, next question. So these are three patients of large vessel occlusion or stroke, and in which case we have to do mechanical thrombectomy. Is either case 1, case 2, or case 3. Only one patient, only in one patient only we need to do mechanical thrombectomy. Which case? The first case is an MRI and ASL image, and the second case is CT and CT perfusion. Third case is again MRI and arterials. So you have to see in which case there is no core, whether in which case we can preserve the brain parenchyma. So next question. This patient is a 36-year-old male presented with acute onset of speech difficulty. Patient had recurrent episodes of headache since 12 years of age, which was associated with weakness of one side of the body. History of similar complaints in mother and grandmother. The first is the CT and CT angio. There are no intravascular occlusions, so no intracranial occlusions, either in extracranial or intracranial. These are the flare images. This is the diffusion image. There is no evidence of any infra. You can see this is the gradient or gradient image, which showing the prominent veins on one side. This is these are the ASL images, which is showing increased perfusion in one part of the cerebral hemisphere on left side. And his weakness has become normal after 12 days. So we'll go to next question. This is a 41-year-old female presented with acute onset of headache and vomiting. On examination, there was no neurological deficit. The first one is the T2 image, you can see, and this is T1 image plain. This is also T1 image plain. These are the gradient images, and then this is the post-contrast T1 fat side. question. This is a 48-year-old male presented with recurrent neurological event since 1.5 years. His first event was a blepharospasm, and there was movement problem, and it was associated with vomiting. These are the upper one is the flare image, and the lower one are the T2 image, and the last one is diffusion image. What is the possible diagnosis at this time? This question carries, sorry, this case contains two questions. So, in this, what is the most likely diagnosis? So, after this, the patient's quadco were reduced, and the patient had a recurrence of symptoms. When this time imaging was done, there was increase in the flare hyperintensity. It has extended from the lower part of the brainstem to the upper midbrain, and then there is diffusion restriction and increase on MR spectroscopy. There is increase in choline, and then on post contrast, significant post contrast gadolinium is seen. And then this is a post T2 perfusion image showing no increased perfusion. And then again after this was stopped, and again quadco this one was given, and then again patient when there was decrease in the dose, then the third event happened. This time it has extended even up into the basal ganglia and basal ganglia, and then this is T1 it is hypo, T1 hypo, T2 also it is hypo, diffusion restriction, and then post contrast there is a gadolinium is seen, and then these are the mean curve maps. Here this green one is within the tumor, within the lesion, and then on this red is the normal brain parenchyma. So what is the final diagnosis? So the most diagnosis is in this curve. This is mean curve. Next question. So this is this is a 80-year-old hypertensive male with headache, and then this is the diffusion images, and these are the flare images, and this is the DSA. Next question. This is a 57-year-old female present with headache since 25 years. with worsening past 6 months, and then there was memory disturbances since 1 year. The neurological examination is unremarkable. And don't give the diagnosis as bilateral subdural hemorrhage. There is something more in it. So the history is also quite long, 25 years, and then you can see this image. First image that is the key to the diagnosis. Next question. This is a 7-year-old boy presented with headache and diplopia. On examination, right turnover palsy was present. This is a plain CT. Hyperdensity is seen. Hyperdense lesion is seen. By the lateral to the cavernous sinus. This is the T2, T2, and this is the T1. T1 also it is bright, and then no diffusion restriction, peripheral blooming, and then on post contrast T1FS there is peripheral gadolinium is seen. Otherwise, it is not, central portion is not seen. So the key you have to see the how it is in relation to the cavernous sinus and other orbit and all. One more clue is on T1 also it is bright. And on CT it is black. Not completely black, it is iso fluid. And outside it is in the outside it is little dense. Next question. This is with the headache and fits seizures. This is the T1, sorry, T2, T2, T1, post contrast T1, and this is the gradient image. Next question. This is a 4-year-old boy presented with developmental delay and unfixed from 1 year of age. So, what is the diagnosis and the type? These are the FLAIR images. You can see some normality And then this is the arterial labeling ASL image, which is showing perfusion defect. And then what is the diagnosis? So next question, we'll go to next question. This is a 48-year-old female, headache, hearing loss, and a ringing sensation in the ear for 2 years, and gait unsteadiness for since 4 months. On examination, cerebellar signs were present with deafness on left side. T2, T2, flare, fiesta image, gradient diffusion, and post contrast. You can see there is a lesion in the left CP angle. We'll go to the next question. This is a 48-year-old female presented with fever, followed by inappropriate behavior, psychiatric manifestation, and became bedridden within 14 days. You can see these are all flare images which are showing this is diffusion, no diffusion restriction. These are the post-contrast T1 images. History and these findings are the crucial to the diagnosis. History is very important in this case. Next case. It's a 43-year-old female presented with gait imbalance, falls, and dementia. She is on antiretroviral treatment. So these all are flare images, T2 images, and post-contrast T1. We'll go to next question. This the patient had a CVA, recurrent CVA, and this an angiogram was done. What is the finding? We'll go to next case. Is that 25-year-old female with quadriceps after doing vigorous exercise. This is a T2 sagittal images. These are the axial images. This is the diffusion image. This is the ADC image. You can see the discs also. You have to see the discs. And then see on diffusion and we'll go to next case. This is the DSA. This is lateral view and this is the next question. In which of this typical brain lesion pattern is for multiple KCA, KSP, KCA, and KSP. All are flare images. You can see the distribution of the lesions in different cases. Next case. It's a 1 year of 4-month-old child born of non-parentage, presented with seizures. There were delayed menstruance and no focal neurological disease. This is the sagittal image of a T2 section at the level of corpus, and then this is an axial image. This is a T1 image, and these are also T1 image. And you have to identify 3 findings. Two findings are obvious on the first 2 images, but for the third and fourth finding, we have to see on the T1 image. Okay, next question. This is a 51-year-old diabetic male with a slowly progressive gait ataxia for 3 years of duration and memory disturbances of 2 months. On examination, deafness is present, that is predominantly neural. This is a simple case, and these are the gradient images, and then diagnosis is very easy and obvious. Next case. This is a 22-year-old female presented with difficulty in walking and, and difficulty in speech. As a brother had similar problems and expired at the age of 35. On examination, there is bilateral grade 3 spasticity in both the lower limbs and reflexes were exaggerated with ankle clones. These are the T1 flare images, and this is the sagittal image of T2. So for diagnosis, you have to see the forceps minor. This is the forceps minor, and then what is the diagnosis? Next case. This is a 37-year-old female presented with diplopia on looking to left with a decreased vision on left side, and no other neurological deficits were present. This is the T2 sagittal image, and the T1 gradient Fiesta's image and post contrast T1, and then this is a CT scan image. CT scan image is will clinch to the diagnosis, and then you have to see the signal intensity on T1, how it is, and then intense enhancement on contrast, and then and it is so homogeneous. So what is the diagnosis? The lesion is in the left cavernous region. You can see the lesion is completely ICI is seen completely within the lesion in the cavernous area. Next question. This is a DSA of a 4-year-old child with a recurrent left hemiparesis.
Dr. Satyanarayana, please unmute your speaker, mic.
Oh, sir, sorry, sir. What procedure is done for this patient in a 4-year-old child with recurrent left hemiparesis? This is after the procedure was done. DSA was done after the procedure. After 12 weeks after the procedure. Okay, next question. This is a 14-year-old child with recurrent headache, vomiting, and seizures. This is a tumor. What is a tumor according to 2016 classification? You can see multiple cysts along the subarachnoid spaces. And then on contrast, cysts are non-enhancing, whereas pachymeninges are intensely showing the contrast. So what is this primary tumor? It's a tumor only. What is the tumor? This is the new edition in 2016 classification. And on diffusion also, there is no restriction on diffusion. And it's a grade 2 tumor. Next question. This patient presented with 25-year-old male presented with slowly progressive lateral of spine followed by paresthesias in bilateral upper limbs and weakness. We have to give the diagnosis and not the finding. I think case 3 or case 4 is similar to this case, but there is difference in from the case 3 to 4 on this case. And this is only T2 image, T1 image, and axial T1. Contrast was not done for this patient as it is not required. Okay, next question. Last two is a 15-year-old female with paraparesis. This is the sagittal T2 weighted image. This is the axial T2 weighted image. This is the T1 weighted image. And this is the post-contrast T1 fat set image. You can see the vertebra, posterior pedicle, and the dura, extradural space. What is the diagnosis? And on axial also you can see the intense, and then you can see some flow voids. What is the diagnosis? And the last question, 70-year-old male with movement disorder. Identify the sign. Is the T2 sagittal image. See the brainstem. With this, the quiz is finished, and then thank you, and I thank the Rajahmundry AP Neurocon chapter for giving me this, this presentation. Thank you. And then answers, it will be revealed in